everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Bloody Good Horror. My name's Eric, and I'll be your host for this evening, where we will be discussing 12-Hour Shift. It's like an independent movie about a lady at a hospital. We're going to talk about that coming up here right quick. First up, from Chicago, Illinois, please welcome Joe.
What's up?
What's up, y'all? From Indiana, please welcome Casey.
Hello!
And finally tonight, from somewhere I forget, he used to live in New York City, please welcome the business manager of Bloody Good Horror, John Schnars, to the show.
It's Maryland, Eric.
Yes.
A lovely state.
That place.
Maryland.
Maryland got a few more crabs when John moved there, huh?
John, you're coming in
Crotch.
coming in real hot tonight, John, looking just like the doll from The Boy. You look like the boy from The Boy.
Wait, does he have sweet flowing locks? I don't remember that.
He's got some
You
hair.
look like the rich asshole in like an '80s movie,
You
right?
super fucking do. Yeah.
We'll take that.
But you're
I will
trying to
actually
you're
take
trying to act like you're one of the people, so you put the hoodie on. But it's all just a farce.
Your
but-
Twitter hoodie.
Yeah, your
that. Wait,
Twitter.
like, is that what the people wear?
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
hoodies?
John, the people wear hoodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not posing. I wear hoodies 80% of the,
It's more
days.
about what's in your heart, John, is what I'm trying to say.
Put a little hoodie in your heart, John.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I said, we are here tonight to talk about 12-Hour Shift. This is an independent film directed by Brea Grant.
Yes.
Oh,
Eric, you
shit.
know, it's amazing
Ooh.
to me when you
Yeah.
remember things about a movie versus many times when
I
you can't remember the
could
name of
barely
the
I
movie.
could barely remember the title during the theme song. So the fact that I recalled the director, kind of amazing. Also, starring Angela Bettis,
Mhm.
who you might recognize from like May or Roman if you saw Roman. She directed that. It's pretty good. I know you didn't, Joe. Don't.
She's been in like a lot of movies, I think.
She has been.
She was
She's a
She was
professional
also
actress.
Carrie. She was Carrie in like I think it was Carrie 2, The Rage or whatever that '90s thing they made.
how Stella got her groove back, although she looked a lot different in that.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe. Speaking of Joe's nonsensical answers, it is time, Joe. Please let us know what we are drinking tonight. Beer guts.
Angela Bettis. I think I'm thinking of Angela Bettis. So 12 hours.
You're thinking Angela Bassett.
Yeah. Who's Angela Bettis? Is
That's
there a
who's
Bettis?
in
the
this
woman
movie.
in this movie.
We're coming up on the year anniversary of weed being legal here in Illinois, John. So 12-hour shift, a movie about shifts that happen in hour increments. And you know what you drink, John, just before your 12-hour shift comes to an end? You drink your 11th hour IPA from the good folks over at Crow Peak Brewing. They're all the way out in South Dakota, John. I don't know if you're familiar with that state. It's not it's one of the squares, I believe.
I've been there. I've been through
One
that.
of the squares. I like that.
One of the squares. Spearfish, South Dakota is the town. I had this. I've talked about my RV trip, but I picked up a 6-pack of these and enjoyed them whilst driving. So
What?
lately, the big thing's been hazy IPAs, New England IPAs, brute IPAs, all kinds of sours and whatever. This is harkening back to a day, John, where we just had IPAs and they were straightforward. They had a lot of hops. There you go.
Are you
your
trying to-
Stone IPA.
Are you trying to say
classic.
this is your Pappy's IPA?
Yeah,
It
a
is
little
your
bit.
It is your Pappy's IPA.
It's an IPA that harkens back to simpler times, where you just wanted a lot of hops and you wanted to taste like a Christmas tree, which is, what this does. But I mean all that in a good way. So a good amount of malts in here balances it out, so it's not as kind of hoppy as you think of a lot of like the West Coast IPAs. But it's it's still got that kick to you. 6.5% alcohol, so you can drink these while driving the RV, because it's a gigantic freaking machine.
How
if
many
you hit something.
how many wheels did that thing have? I'm curious if there's like a beer to wheel ratio that we're working with here.
I'm trying to think. I think it was just 4, right? Maybe the
Wow.
back had like a double up. I don't remember.
Well, I
It's-
didn't-
I assumed it was like you're home already, so it's like kind of maybe okay.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
mean, while I was driving the thing, I always thought like, all right, if we get into an accident, like I'm probably gonna total the other car. So like I wasn't as nervous.
Interesting.
It's
That's a train. That's a train of thought for sure.
Yeah, like for people who might be new to the show, this is
I don't think he's kidding,
an extended
actually.
joke that we made.
Yeah, I don't think
earlier
he's kidding
about-
this time though, John.
yeah.
Look at his face.
I mean, the thought did run through my mind, right? Like you're on the highway. If I hit like a tractor trailer or something, I'm like, all right, there's gonna be problems. But if I hit a car, like it's not gonna be great. But like, who's gonna get totaled, right? The gigantic house on wheels or like some fucking Honda CRV?
Oh
Your-
man.
Your goddamn Prius isn't gonna stand a chance to my shitter on wheels. Anyway, crowpeakbrewing.com is the website. This is I just had this beer like a couple months ago, and I haven't tried any of the other stuff, but their website is beautiful, and it looks like they've got a wonderful like brew pub. So I recommend them, if anything, just for people that enjoy a nice website.
If you're thinking of developing a website, let me tell you where to go.
If you want to drink a beer and then do some research on it and have a pleasing website, crowpeakbrewing.com is the site you're going to want to go to.
Nice. That's
You're welcome.
Cool.
great. All right, guys, it is time. Let's take a quick break and discuss 12-hour shift.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. Stop the prime time. Main feature.
And we're back. John,
Eric.
also looking this haircut, a little Chucky-like.
I'll be honest, I wasn't into it, but now I feel like it's gotten to a length of like I'm back.
Well,
into
it also looks like he's washed it recently. Like it's got some body to it that it doesn't normally
I wash
have.
it every day.
Joe,
Like,
it's normally weighed down by grease, so you're not really seeing how flowing
yeah,
it is.
you look a little scuzzier normally, and like today.
yeah, like
it's
look at that. It's got some real body to it.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Like
I
a
don't care for
fucking
that.
Pantene commercial over here. I love it.
Yeah.
Pantene people, if you're looking to run some ads and podcast or two, I'm just saying.
If you want hair like John Schnarr's, Pantene.
It's it's a constant
Hey,
battleground here at the house.
I used to
where-
use Pantene when I had hair, John. I get it.
Well,
Hmm.
look,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make anyone feel as
Wait.
self-conscious. about
Now
their
I
hair
could
style.
use
Do we
literally
want to
anything.
talk about the Beekman Boys again and my love for their shampoo? Because I could go off on this.
Speaking
rant
of the
for next
Beekman
hour.
Boys, Joe, I was at Trader Joe's, and I was looking through their body care aisle, and they sell a shampoo bar,
Oh,
and I
well,
bought
there
it.
you go, yeah.
I've yet to open it, but I fucking bought it. I have no idea why. I was like, I'm gonna buy this. I don't know. This is a thing people are
It's-
talking about.
Honestly, I love it. Like I wish Cece was here so I could thank her for turning me on to this. Like it's amazing.
Because I could wash my hair with literally anything these days, so I figured, fuck it. What's the worst thing that could happen?
Yeah.
The beard,
it's
honestly,
nice,
the
like-
beard needs more. Like I need something legit for the beard. But
I don't know. I think you should give it a go. I think you'll find that you don't need it.
interesting.
Yeah.
I like to go with
The only thing I don't know is like conditioner. Like what are you supposed to do for conditioner? Which I'm not even convinced conditioner works, but
It's not
the
a problem
Beekman
with
Boys
that.
sell it.
The
so
the
I-
conditioner the conditioner does stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how you make a decision on which conditioner to use. That is not a question I can answer.
I go with
but
I like to go with a fine Dr. Bronner's soap. That's what I
Yeah.
like to use in my beard.
I think I remember to condition every other month.
I'll tell you how I decide what to go with, John. I go with which one has a lovable couple that has also won an amazing race. And those
Yeah.
guys tell me to buy their conditioner. I say, yeah, you guys fucking make this with goats.
Who's-
You guys know what you're doing.
Whose wives must be on the farm because they're never around.
Yeah, there must like what lucky lady those wives must be, right? Like just all these beauty supplies at their disposal. Like good for them,
Yeah.
right?
Love it.
God, what
This-
a dream they
This
must
is
be
why
living.
we need that manscaping ad dollars, John, because I have lots of grooming thoughts. I'm just waiting to share with the world.
Listen,
Yeah.
we're gonna explore the manscaping situation.
Good.
That's all I'm
I
saying.
got it.
I've been exploring it, John. I just need help.
Like we'll talk about the cameos later, but like they have really upped my rants game. Like it's just fucking off the handle. Like
Oh Lord,
we should talk about this.
it's what we
when we're
need. It's what we need. what we've all been waiting for.
I love it. We are definitely gonna circle back to that later. But first, it is time. John Schnars, please bring us the motherfucking word of the day.
I'm coming to you with news you can use this week, guys, because the word is uremia.
Oh,
Mm.
nice.
Ooh.
That's what you
you
get.
are-
That's what you get if you manscape too aggressively.
You could. uremia. Uremia, a raised level in the blood of urea and other nitrogenous
Mm-hmm.
waste compounds that are normally eliminated by the kidneys.
Oh,
You do,
nitrogenous.
You drink a lot of cranberry juice. I think it'll clear that up for
Right,
you, John.
right.
That'll get the uremia right out of there.
Stop that burning in the pee hole.
Uremia is it's the terminal stage of kidney failure, or it is a sign, I guess I should say, of terminal kidney failure. Comes to us from Greek, as many medical words do. Oron, O-U-R-O-N, means urine in Greek. So if you're ever with a Greek person, and then hema or chyma means blood.
Just so I'm clear, what you are saying is now you know this word if you're ever with a Greek person and you want to talk about urine
Yes,
specifically.
correct.
Okay.
Hema is also one of my favorite Outcast songs, John. If you
Hey,
remember that one. Don't wanna thank your mama.
Oh boy.
Hell yeah.
All right.
John, tell me about 12-hour shift. Tell me a little bit about Brea Grant too. She seems like a cool person we want to be paying attention to.
I did not prepare a ton on Brea Grant. So we saw her pretty recently in a little film called Midnight Special. Is that After Midnight? Excuse me, After Midnight. She was. Do you guys remember this movie? We watched it earlier this year. I believe it was pre-COVID. So
After
like
midnight. Oh yeah, that was
that
that was
guy in the house with the thing attacking every night or something.
yeah, that was with
correct.
Jeremy Gardner.
She was the love interest in that film, the
Nice.
significant other. This is her directorial debut, I believe, at least as a feature length film.
Joe, she wrote and starred in a series called The Real Housewives of Horror for Nerdist.
Huh.
Mhm.
I'm not
That's-
familiar.
That's a
but
lot of
I'll
your shit
take a look.
colliding at once, Joe. That sounds pretty exciting.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, it comes to us from Brea Grant. Written, it's a writer-director combo here. Produced, interestingly, I mean, you guys probably saw this. David Arquette makes more than a cameo, but not quite a featured part.
Yeah.
And also Mick Foley, I believe, was also in there as a producer,
Yeah.
and makes, in his case, what I would call a legitimate cameo.
Yeah, it's so weird seeing that dude in different settings.
I 100% had no idea it was him until the credits, and I was like, "Huh,
He's
Makes
pretty good.
I'm just glad he got his teeth.
he's something."
I don't think he had. I don't
missing
think he had
teeth,
all of
for
them.
sure.
Yeah, I don't think he
Yeah,
had
no,
all.
they
of them.
were.
that wasn't acting. I don't think what
No.
he was doing.
It was,
So it was, yeah. So the basic outline here. So Angela Bettis is our main character. Her name's Mandy. Mandy is a nurse showing up for work. Somewhat interesting. I mean, maybe we can talk about this. We get a sort of title in that first shot that tells us this is Arkansas, 1999. I think it's mainly relevant. The setting, it does come into play. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think what's the polite way to say this, but there's a lot of white trash-ish type characters in
Yeah.
this film.
I think that's fair.
Some
Some real
and so I think
some
that's
real
part of
country
it.
ass people.
There's also obviously like 1999 has very specific connotations around the technology that's available.
Yeah.
There's some like specific references to Y2K
In the very
toward
beginning,
the-
Yeah.
in the very
Yeah.
beginning, there's a Y2K reference. Yeah.
All I'm
Eric,
going to say
you
right now,
probably
though,
had- No, go ahead.
I'm gonna call bullshit on the paramedic and his Discman from 1999. There's no way he could dance like
Yeah.
that without it skipping.
It would have skipped.
Well,
Although I feel like there were like fancy, expensive ones that I never would have had that had like anti-skip protection or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
but even that anti-skip protection was like a
That
fail.
was shit.
yeah.
What were you
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
ask, Joe?
sure you had the same reaction when they flashed 1999 and were really excited for Limp Bizkit reference,
Right.
which
Just kidding. Yeah.
never came.
Or like
Spoiler
a
alert.
Chronic 2001 reference, maybe. That would have excited me. As
Not
well.
a thing.
So the basic outline here. So Angela Bettis is a nurse. She shows up at work, and she's immediately doing drugs, sort of to get her shift started. We know that she's there for
mean-
basically a double.
How do you get through work, John?
I mean,
What do you?
well,
Enjoy it?
caffeine.
Yeah.
Caffeine.
Mm.
It's a drug, psychoactive substance for sure. And basically, Angela Bettis, as a nurse, is involved in the illegal organ trade, where she is harvesting organs from people who are dead and or dying that are helped to death by her. And she's part of a little bit of a cadre that's going on at this hospital. I wasn't sure the sort of like her colleague, the black character, is she like the head nurse? Is she like the
I don't know.
I don't know what the like nursing roles were, but
I
she's
think
basically like the
the
boss.
angry blonde one was the head nurse. I think the other one was
The
what's
angry
the-
blonde one.
like I think she was like the intake, or she
Well,
kinda
because she is the
determined-
one who
Well,
later
she
on
determined the
Different floor.
schedule.
she
She
tells
said
her,
she determined the schedule too.
but
which
she also
was-
tells
Yeah.
her later on that her suspension is extended.
Yes. So you've got this like illegal organ trade going on. So that Angela Bettis is working then with her cousin. It's actually the wife of her cousin, who is then picking the organs up at the hospital and delivering them to Mick Foley, who's
AKA
like basically operating an
Man-
illegal organ thing out of like a garage. which-
mankind. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I have some questions about the science.
Yeah. The setup here is basically that the cousin or the wife's the wife of the cousin is a moron, and also potentially sort of like a psychopathic moron or like mentally deficient in some other way we can talk about. And so not only does she lose the organs, which then sets in motion this sort of ticking time bomb where Mick Foley and his associates are going to come and sort of like start killing people or nasty things. But then she also starts showing up at the hospital and trying to quote unquote solve the problem, which involves her killing people, cutting out other organs that are not kidneys. They're trying to find a kidney in this specific situation. And Angela Bettis is basically put in a position where she not only has to try to find a new kidney, but then also clean up / deal with the fact that her, helper is a complete, I don't know, catastrophe. So that's the setup, and lots of crazy things ensue. As I mentioned, white trash characters kind of sprinkled throughout. So
Mhm.
Yeah. They're called Trumpers, John.
Mm. A little smidgen of pigeon.
Joe, what do you think about this?
So I enjoyed the premise of this. I enjoyed parts of it. I think the biggest issue I had was I never really found something to kind of latch onto. Like, it was an hour 45, I think.
No, it's an hour
And-
27.
it's short. It was like an hour.
it's an
30
hour.
max,
It's
like
an hour
28 or something.
and 27.
All right, let's call it an even 2 hours.
It
I just
felt like an hour and 45 at
Oh,
times.
come on.
So to John's point, the first 45 minutes are very slow. There's some interesting points there, but once things kind of kick off, it gets interesting. But again, I kind of felt like things were just happening, and I didn't really have any sort of reaction. That being said, I loved the score. I actually looked it up while I was watching it. I listened to it on loop a couple times today because I
Wait,
thought it
are
was
you kidding?
amazing. But yeah, no.
Oh, that's
no, I
awesome,
loved
dude.
it.
It's
Yeah.
very interesting and very unique.
It's super well. I mean, you have these, and not to completely go off and not talk about the movie anymore, but you have this sort of operatic singer with these blast beats going on underneath it. It
And
was
there's metal guitars at some points.
It totally plays on the Mr. Bungle fan nerdy metal guy. So I don't know. I kind of want to look into the guy that did it a little more, but yeah, like it kind of wrapped up, and I was like, oh, that was interesting, and like I actually thought like some of the small characters that we got throughout, like David Arquette, I actually really liked his character. There's a couple like goofy cops that when they were thrown in, I actually enjoyed those scenes, but like the actual core of the movie, I found to drag a little bit.
Casey.
So overall, I like this movie quite a bit by the time I got to the end of it. I'm a big Angela Bettis fan from May. Her cousin who is delivering stuff terrifies me. She was pretty fun to watch. All the characters were good. The cameos were good. It was great seeing Mick Foley. David Arquette was fun. I will agree this movie was a little meandering in the middle, but movie was also weird enough, and you throw in the score and these characters that you're basically just watching a train wreck happen because you're not supposed to connect with any of them and whatnot. I just found it pretty darkly funny and kept me engaged quite a bit through the end, and I got some good laughs out of it. So ultimately, I enjoyed this quite a bit.
John.
I guess for me, this is a movie where the individual components, there's a lot to enjoy and like, but it just didn't add up to a movie that I really enjoyed watching. And I guess, I mean, like a lot of it came down to, I think, mostly the script. You know, the fact that there's some issues around the characters and sort of, I think there are characters. I wouldn't go so far as to say that they're not sort of like at least realized people with desires and so on and so forth, but they don't
go on.
No, but they don't. It's like sort of unclear why you should care about anything that's happening to anyone in this movie. You know, I mean,
yeah.
And there's not an
Sometimes
arc.
it's fun to just watch it burn, John.
Well, sure,
But I get, like, you're right. Like, you don't really know the motivation, like, to make money. Like, I guess that's it.
Well,
It's to make money for drugs
Angela
for
Bettis
her.
is very clearly the main character.
She's trying
There's
to
a lot of characters.
She's trying to support her drug habit.
But that's not even clear because like she's just stealing drugs from the hospital.
Yeah, she's
like, it's
getting
not
her
even
drugs
like
for free.
she has like a pretty easy way to get drugs. It
No,
felt
but isn't
to
she
me like-
paying the nurse or something to not rat her out? Isn't she paying that head nurse lady?
I mean, that was not explicitly explained. If that's exactly what we were supposed to, if that's what we were supposed to be.
Cahoots and like splitting whatever their profits were.
That was my takeaway too. No, I mean, like, look, I agree with you all on the music. The guy's name is Matt Glass. He's the composer.
Yes.
He was also the cinematographer, which is like a really interesting.
Oh, damn,
mix.
bro.
And he-
Double threat.
Well, and he has not done that much composing before. Like he hasn't done. It's not a. He's done a ton of different things, but this is one of the first movies that he's really.
I mean,
composed.
that quality, though, is kind of what I love about it because it has an experimental quality to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The whole
and
movie
so-
does.
No, and that's look. I do think this is at the. I don't want to say like bleeding edge of indie because it's not right. Like you've got David Arquette. Brea Grant is not. I don't want to make it sound like she's some like, doesn't know what she's doing.
No,
I
she's
do think-
a novice filmmaker. I mean, this is her second feature.
Yeah, I mean it's really the
Yeah, but
first one
she's
with
been
any
in the
money
industry
behind it.
for a while. She
Yeah.
was like on Heroes on NBC for its entire run too, so she's been around at least that long.
No, but I don't know. It isn't that well put together. And for me, mostly it comes down to the script feels a little wonky. Like I enjoy the concept and that whole kind of like worst day ever thing. Like I was trying to think of what are the other best movies in this category. And it's sort of like Very Bad Things or The Hangover, is like a pretty popular one. It's obviously not quite as dark, but I don't know, like for a movie that wants to be in that category, it's not tight enough. Like the humor isn't tight enough, the plot isn't tight enough, and that's where I like really got lost. There were times where I was just like, what the fuck is going on? There's a lot of conversations between two characters that really don't matter. There's some funny bits in there. Like the guy I really liked was the Kit Williamson is the actor's name. Not Kit Williamson. The guy who like shows up and wants to get a bed in the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I
he was
really
good.
enjoyed
Dude,
that guy.
that guy's fucking hilarious. Like
Yeah, yeah,
every
yeah. Sorry,
especially at the end.
I laughed
Tom-
out loud.
Tom DeTrinis.
I
is the
laughed
guy.
out loud every time that dude was on screen. Like he is
Well, but
so
to me,
goddamn
he was
funny.
like the funniest part of this movie, and then the next funniest part was like, I don't know, maybe like there was like only a couple other things.
I
where
really
kept,
like David Arquette. I mean, it's a very dark humor too. So I think the thing about him that stands out is that it's like funny. It's like humor
Yeah,
funny. You know what I mean?
He's playing straight up like sort of broad humor.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely the highest on this movie. I will agree that it feels like something needs a little tightening, but it's actually kind of that rough around the edges thing is one of the things I really like about it. There's something, Joe, you could say this. I don't know what I've heard you say Mr. Bungle before, Joe. I don't know what that is. Is that a 90s thing?
No,
Okay.
they're you remember the band Faith No More?
Yes.
The lead singer Mike Patton had like another band,
Got it.
Mr. Bungle.
So is it 80s?
Their thing. No, I mean
No.
they're actually just putting out a new record for like
Interesting.
the first time in 20
So
years.
I wish that I could put my finger on what this specific quality is, but I can't. But there's something about this movie that feels like a specific kind of late 90s independent movie. And I think it has something to do with kind of the specific way it's rough around the edges. The score itself, being experimental, kind of reminds me of stuff you would have seen in that, like, sort of that boom that happened, like, after 96, when, like, all of that, like, Clerks and Good Will Hunting, when that stuff blew up, there was in this new wave of, like, independent filmmakers, and it reminded me of that in a way that I really loved. The cinematography, too. I wish I could describe what it is, but there's something, a vibe there I really liked. I think it's really funny. I think it is, there is just enough kind of blood and violence to kind of put it into a genre category for me. I also really, I think Angela Bettis gives a really fantastic performance. Like, the highest compliment I can give her is that it feels like they went to Alabama. Was it Alabama or Arkansas?
Arkansas.
It feels like they went to Arkansas and, like, found a disaffected nurse and put her on a bus and brought her there to act in this movie. Like,
So the movie
to
was filmed in Arkansas. They did this thing on set.
to the point where I almost feel like I feel like somebody, like, I wanted to check in on Angela Bettis and make sure she was okay.
Yes.
Like, that is how good I thought she was in this movie. And I just, like, I really like her as an actress, and I don't get to see her in a lot. Like, I feel like she's not as visible now as she was in the mid 2000s, because, like, when after May came out, she was getting a lot of indie roles. Like, she was in the Toolbox Murders remake that Tobe Hooper did, was a big one, which we reviewed, I think, at some
No,
point.
I don't think we ever did it on the show.
No,
Interesting.
No.
I know
But
I've seen, I know I've seen it, but, like, so it's nice to see her.
I feel like after every time I see Angela Bettis, I want to check in to make sure she's okay. Like, have she ever been in a movie where you're like, oh yeah, everything's totally kosher there?
Yeah,
That's-
she's
doing
always
great.
been a little out there on the fringe, but I felt the same way as Eric, because they did such a good job with her and this makeup to fit this disaffected nurse with a drug problem and everything. It looked pretty realistic. I was kind of concerned for her well-being.
Yeah,
No,
and,
Eric,
like,
your point
so
about
But
Oh, go ahead,
I
sorry.
also love David Arquette. Like, I could have used more of him. Like, I loved how he randomly just pops up. I love how he randomly pops up, and it's like, you don't know what he wants. Like, until the end, he doesn't do anything. He just keeps popping up and looking at people, and they get scared and run away. So I liked, what I think this movie does that I like is that it feels like, I think it does a really great job of cooking up this feeling of kind of slowly building chaos in this hospital. And yes, I will agree that some of it, it's like, you're trying to there's a little bit of points where you're kind of losing the thread, but I still felt it, and I like the atmosphere that builds up, and you're kind of just waiting for whatever the next domino is to fall. I think that her friend is really funny, or her cousin, I guess, in a very like over the top ridiculous way. Like, she made me laugh. I do have a lot of questions about the science, like how do they know these kidneys are even going to match these people? Like, they don't act like that's a thing, or
There's
like
no blood type,
or like we're
concern
just
at all.
you
just
can't worry about
dirty
that.
crackheads just like touching these things with their hands, and just like, I don't know that this is gonna work, guys, but I'm willing to kind of get by that because I just really enjoyed it for a lot of reasons, and I really thought it was super funny and tense enough for me to kind of bring me through it. I was surprised by this. I enjoyed it a lot.
The point you made earlier, so we didn't talk about this that much over email. So the thing you just said that I will give you credit for, and that has at least warmed me in a marginal way to this film. The comparison to like Clerks or those like 90s sort of indie, that 90s indie scene, this very much has that sort of slice of life. That's what they're going for.
Yeah.
I totally
Yeah.
agree. You kind of nailed that.
They
There is a
especially bring that home with the final shot, like how they're showing like it was just a day and whatever,
There-
but, you know.
There's a Kevin Smith quality, and I say that in like the best way
Hmm.
of referencing Kevin Smith, as opposed to like all the really negative
No, of course.
ways.
I mean,
one might-
listen, Clerks is a magical movie, and it was at the time.
Yeah.
and this movie definitely, look, there's like several sequences that are like the hockey scene in Clerks, where you're like, what the fuck is this about? Like, why are they doing? You know, that was my when I was kind of commenting on the screenplay.
Those are also the most memorable parts of that movie, though, in some ways. Like, I think there was a willingness to do that stuff then because they were experimenting with the medium and with just making cheap movies, and maybe that's part of what I liked about this.
Yeah, no, totally. It and as a reference, I buy it, and I can get on board with that nostalgia. It's still for me, and look, maybe I need to go back and watch Clerks just to see how I feel about those movies.
No, you don't.
But like, but the like, you know, praising Angela Bettis, I think she's fine in this. To me, there was a lot of scenes where I was like, what is she doing? Like, she's kind of just standing there looking at stuff. And I'm sure in the script it was like, you know, whatever.
Eat a cake.
Yeah, Mandy like looks nervous or something. And there's like some longer cuts than are necessary, and that lends it that kind of like fluffy feeling. The movie's only 90 minutes long, so
87.
That's where, but that's where I'm like, I wanted it to be a little tighter and punchier. When you're going for that kind of caper vibe, you need more capering. I guess.
See, I didn't see it so much as a caper though. It was more the slice of life that drew me in, and I didn't even really think of the caper side.
Honestly, the pacing did not bother me at all. But for me, like, I'm just being real. A lot of times it just depends on my mood, dude. Like, sometimes I can be in a shitty mood.
Eric, I know you, and
hit a slow burn and be like, fuck this movie.
I know your moods.
Or see something like this and be in a good mood and be like, yeah, dude, I'm into it. Like, really. I mean, I believe a lot of people are like that and won't admit it to themselves.
No, but I think I agree with John here. Like, I do think, you know, I don't know if you'd call it a caper, but it definitely does. I think Very Bad Things is a good reference because it's definitely that shit's gone sideways and you're watching these people try and get out of it. But I think that the thing that is missing is kind of that setup in a movie like Very Bad Things, where, like, you know the backstory, you know why they're terrible people, but like you're kind of rooting for them. Whereas this is just like,
you're not really rooting for anybody here. You're just kind of watching. Yeah, you're just kind of watching it unfold.
You're not rooting for and you're not rooting against. Like, it was kind of just like. Ugh.
In some ways, in that same light, this movie made me think of California without the psycho killers. It's kind of like you're doing a day in the life of watching these crazy ass people traveling across the country. This is kind of the same thing, except for they're not necessarily as murdery.
There is a specific script, like plot, like choice they made that I think makes that question potentially more difficult for any given viewer, and that is that even though these are dying patients, they make the choice to write into it that she actively kills people already on the brink of death, so that she can take their kidneys.
Yeah,
that is, I would guess, a deliberate choice to try to make this a really dark comedy. You know, you could have just said, well, they're dying anyway, she takes the kidneys after they die, and made her, I think, a easier character to get behind. I'm the kind of person, I'm going to be real with you, like, I don't have this, I know, Joe, you and I are very different this way. Most protagonists in movies, I can get behind on some, like, I can watch a movie and get behind, I don't want Angela Bettis to get caught, because if I was doing this, I wouldn't want to get caught. And it's not necessarily that there's a huge difference between that and when you're really connecting with somebody and like, I'm actively rooting for this character. But it's not hard for me to get into a mindset where I at least like don't want everything to blow up, because you're watching the kind of juggling. You're watching the plates spin.
I get it. I need a reason, right? Like, show me a kid at home that she's trying to support, and then like, all right, I'm all in.
Like it's the kind of bold choice of the movie that I kind of respect. That she's kind of just a piece of shit. Like, she's definitely had a hard life, and they show that, or they suggest that, and they could have leaned into it more. But like, it seems like a really like direct choice they made to make her just real.
I got a pretty good chuckle too out of the fact that they tried to show some of that humanity to get you to connect to her. She was talking about the guy on dialysis, and she told the head nurse, I was thinking about him, but I'm kind of connected with him. I kind of like him. I don't want to. And then you have her cousin show up and all sorts of crazy shit happens, which adds to the dark humor on top.
Yeah, those are real heartfelt.
I very much enjoyed how like oblivious the cousin was to like any kind of logic whatsoever. Like, she tells her about the bleach, and then she pours it down somebody's throat. Like, that shit was just like, she was just dead set on getting a fucking kidney and was putting zero thought into what she was doing, and it was
Was
really funny.
anyone else curious? Like, I'm actually, this is a legit question I have. I would love a scientist or a doctor to respond. If
All right,
you
I'm
drank
listening.
bleach,
Ooh.
excuse me, would that happen? Like, it was like bubbling through his neck, is what it looked like.
It was very weird. Yeah.
I don't know, but I've
Yeah.
heard horror stories about drinking Drano, so, and that is similar.
Well, yeah, because we grew up in the 80s. Like, that's why. That was like razor blades and Halloween bullshit.
Yeah, there
Um,
was the constant threat of Drano being put in your soda.
right? No, for real, dude.
It's like you
Can I-
feared the Russians and you feared Drano. Like, that
So
was just the
I like. There's a moment here to me that I really just want to point out where like Angela Bettis is acting this character bone dry, but she I think is really funny. And there's this one scene in particular where she gets caught in the morgue, basically extracting a kidney from a dude, and there's fucking blood everywhere. And the
Yeah.
cop comes in, and she senses that the cop is kind of sweet on her, and he's trying to give her soda, and she like resists at first, but then when she figures out she has a way to manipulate him, she's like, "Oh, I will take this." Like, and she switches her demeanor, and she kind of slow walks to him, and this fucking hilarious scene takes it from him with this blood-soaked fucking hand, or she like touches his hand. It is
Yeah.
so funny, like, but it's hard to describe why because she is bone dry in what she's doing.
I actually love that scene. That was one of my
Yeah.
favorite scenes.
yeah.
And
agree.
that cop, he has great moments, but to me, like it kind of all dissipates, and it I don't know, like the way even he gets done at the end, it's just kind of like, all right, like this
Yeah,
fucking cop,
that's
I don't
over.
know, yeah. So
Did anyone
but
else
I
think he
agree,
looked like
that
a?
sequence was really well done.
Yeah.
Did anyone else think he looked like bootleg Jake Gyllenhaal? Because that's all I could think about.
Jake?
I don't know that I saw
Like
that. But...
Jake Gyllenhaal, if he kind of stretched him out too much, like he was kind of
I don't
lanky in
think
a weird
he
way.
looked anything like Jake
I'm
Gyllenhaal,
gonna
but
get a
like
picture,
yeah.
your perception of other white men is just
Is dead
Yeah.
a
on.
mystery to me.
It's dead on in a way that
All
makes you.
time.
It's dead on in a way that makes you question your own
You
perception.
have some sort of disease where people look differently to you.
Exactly.
Some people have facial blindness. Eric suffers from everybody looks like Schnarr's facial
I didn't
blindness.
say he looked like Schnars. Did I say that? No.
No, but it fits.
I mean, it was coming, right?
We all
you're
know.
close.
We all know I'm not like talking crazy here.
No, that's not. That's
you
not
guys-
a leap.
You guys are nuts. I do like. I'd love to hear these phone calls that are going on with David Arquette's agent, where they're like, "Hey, we need just a big piece of shit. Can he come down?" Like,
Well, so he produced this, right? So my
Yeah.
my guess is he got his hands on the script and was like, "I love this. Like,
But-
let's get it made."
I'm nearly positive he's like wearing the same fucking thing that he was wearing in Spree, and I kind of love
Yeah.
this idea
Yeah.
of this character traveling between movie
I think you're
universes.
right. Yeah.
Well, I was about to say, like, I'm not 100% convinced that this wasn't just him in a hospital after filming Spree, and again,
Right.
just David Arquette.
Like he got hurt in Spree, and he was there recovering, and they shot this movie, and he
Yeah,
just
it's
wandered
like,
out of his
yeah.
room.
Well, I
Then we
think from what I know of like Bria Grant and stuff like that, and her involvement in like the horror community and stuff like that over the years, she's done a
How
lot.
much
Like with
do
the
you know about her?
Quite
You're
a
a
bit,
historian. I
actually.
had no idea.
quite a bit actually. But I gotta think there's some friendships going on that pulled in like David Arquette and stuff like that. That
Well,
she's known these people or worked with them
I
too.
just love the idea, like between the like, you know, we've seen on Slack, like Spree is a very divisive movie, but I like the idea of him. He's always been a genre fan, right? Like he's talked about, he was a big proponent of like Eight-Legged Freaks and like obviously his involvement in Scream, and it's kind of cool. Even if you don't like Spree, it's a really fucking unique movie, and I love the idea that he's bored and just like finding interesting little projects to kind of like help get made.
Yeah, I'm sure he's very selective.
I mean, he helped it get made, Joe. Like that's the difference. It's not just like
Yeah,
he showed
no,
up for a
that-
job. Like he saw something in this that he liked, and he helped get it made.
I mean, the
The
flip
world
side
is his
might be- the flip side, yeah. The only movie you can get in is the one you help get made.
the ones you
yeah, like,
make.
John knows what I'm saying because he's not a fucking dick.
I think you're both right, is what I'm trying to say. Joe has his point. Yeah. Good times. Good times. Other characters I enjoyed. Her I don't know, her name's Karen actually, which is hilarious. I think the black woman I thought was amazing. She's
yeah.
she
She's
might be
really
the best character
She
in the
is
movie
very
because
funny.
Yeah.
she's just not giving a fuck. Like basically, no matter what is happening, like nothing even gets her blood up, which I enjoyed. And then
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
the counterpoint to like the other nurses are all just complete whack jobs. So
John, did you slink down in your seat? Why am I seeing you from like the chin up right now?
well,
It's
going on?
I'm
fucking
getting
weird.
up into my mic here.
Well, no, I want you up in your mic, but just fix your camera.
I feel like you're, like your chair, like the compression in your chair is like going out.
I mean, I want you.
It's getting warm in here. I
Don't
might need to take my
don't get it twisted, John. I want you all up in your mic.
No, you like it. Yeah. I felt like there was a little too much of the grandmother who could not remember where she was. Like that.
Yeah.
That
shtick
scene
got old real
yeah.
quick.
I did find it really funny that she chastised her for cursing at the end, when there's a
Yeah.
fucking dead body laying in the ground next door in a pool
Yeah.
of
I
blood.
didn't care for her, but I did the daughter or whatever who kept coming around trying to find help for her. I enjoyed a great deal. Like I thought
Yeah.
her panic was
Yeah.
really enjoyable. I guess that's kind of what I meant at the top of this too, was that like these sort of small moments I really enjoyed, but like the story as a whole just kind of went nowhere for me, and like I didn't have
Yeah.
anything to grasp onto.
That's a fair, because I think that's where my idea of this was a little long in the middle. How he talked about it was a little slow in the middle is probably a result of those scenes, like with that grandma in the hotel room when they first introduced hospital room, not hotel room. When they were first introduced her and stuff, it was obvious Angela Bettis is going around checking people's charts, figuring out who her next victim's going to be. They give us a couple of hints. It might be this lady. It might be a guy in dialysis. It might be somebody else. But then they keep coming back to them and adding on. And I think that's the parts that made it feel unnecessary to me, made it feel choppy there in the middle.
Like I could have watched a sitcom of this, like half an hour chunks of like everybody at this hospital
Yeah.
doing something like once a week.
I don't know,
That
man.
I'd be in.
I just liked it. What can I say?
Can you turn this into a sitcom, Bray Grant? Is what we're trying to say.
Well, I've
here.
heard people compare it to Nurse Jackie, which I've never seen.
Yeah. Well,
I've
yeah,
not
that's
seen that
actually
either.
no. Well, Leslie, and it's funny because you talk about like my moral compass on these. Leslie and I watched 2 episodes of Nurse Jackie and had to like stop because like Leslie's worse than I am. Like Nurse Jackie's pretty much just about like a junkie nurse, and like Leslie's like I can't fucking watch this. Like
mean,
I don't like this person.
Serious question, Joe. How do you enjoy any kind of entertainment?
I'm not
But, like,
even gonna sit here
this
trying
is
to explain
why-
what goes on in my mind.
But this is why you're way into like Hallmark movies and stuff, because it's just very simple. Like I don't mean simple in a dumb
Yeah,
way, but I mean
everybody's nice.
the morality. But what I mean is like the morality of those movies is very simple, and they get tied up in a nice bow at the end, and the
No,
good people
come
get the good
on.
things. Like
You're
Keep going.
No, I was gonna say you're. I think you're being a little like
am I?
this movie. It is
No.
you're overstating its complexity.
No. But I am
No.
not. But I am just talking about this thing with Joe based on years of like fucking data. I'm not just talking about
Yeah.
this movie. He
Joe's
said it on the
comments
show.
tonight explained why he's so into Hallmark movies.
Yeah.
I don't
That's what
think
Eric's
so.
trying to
I didn't-
say.
This movie tonight, like, I didn't know if this person was bad. I didn't know if they were good. I didn't know anything about them. It's not so much like the.
Here's my point,
I
though.
didn't dismiss her. Because,
What if
like,
what if she's bad?
I don't know.
but
Maybe it would have
I'm
been
with
more
Joe,
interesting.
like I just don't think it wasn't internally consistent or even
Yeah.
like.
I mean, that's fine. I'm not even
That
talking.
hell,
John, I'm gonna
is-
be real with you. I'm
is
not even talking about
fine.
the. I'm not even talking about the movie anymore. I'm talking about Joe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Eric. So my counterpoint, I have a full head of hair, so you know,
Congratulations, Joe. I hope
you can call me a simpleton for liking Hallmark movies, but
it's
you know.
not about whatever.
It's funny too now that I'm thinking about it as we're talking about it with like part of why this movie appealed to me a lot, and I didn't have the problems that necessarily Joe and John did, because like right now I've been rewatching Trailer Park Boys again, which I've watched a dozen times probably through completely to the end. I'm a big fan of Letterkenny, which is the slice of life thing where they drop a camera in and you're going to watch trash people do trash things for half hour at a time, and this is no different from that. So I think it does have that same kind of appeal, which is what drew me in, just because I didn't care if she was bad or not. You're watching these bad people who are doing bad stuff, and you're going to watch the craziness that they're going to run into through the course of that
I
shit.
can see the argument that they could have put a little bit of finer point on some of those character traits just to flesh it out a little more.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it could have. I mean, for me, it's like putting all that aside, I'm along for the ride if the ride is sort of
well,
a ride.
but here's
that
a
you
great
wanna
here's
be
a
on.
great
Yeah.
here's a great example.
Exactly.
Like they make a lot out of this cousin or this half brother character. Like, give me something about their relationship together, not just the
Yeah.
20-second little soliloquy she gives to the woman at the cop at the end or whatever, which could have been
Right.
bullshit because she was just trying to talk herself out of something.
But
It's weird
additional
because,
story.
like, when they kind of laid out that he was the half brother too, like they almost gave you the impression that like she didn't really know him that well. But then like they tried to make you have this like emotional reaction to like her helping him at the end, and you're kind of like I don't get it. Like, do you or don't you actually like this guy?
Yeah, that's fair. And they kind of dropped in the fact that he was her half brother like partway through, and it was just kind of dropped in there, wasn't it? There wasn't really a lot of setup that, hey, your brother just got brought in or something like that.
Well, you knew she was trying because at one point, you know, the cousin is trying to take his kidney, and like she has this reason why she doesn't want that to happen, and I guess that's kind of the reveal of the brother stuff, right?
Right.
I don't know. Whatever. I'm just a simpleton, right, Erickson?
But I was gonna say at the same time too, if you added more backstory detail to like the blonde cousin, the crazy one, it would have ruined that character. She was great just because she was terrifying because you didn't know what the hell she was gonna do.
Yeah. No, and I was fine with her. I think there were times where it was a little much. There's times where it's like a little too put on. I don't know. I mean,
It
But-
was very put on. Like
Well, it
when
was
she goes
very
out
put
to the you know parking lot, just stabs a guy. It's like, all right, well, there's something else going on here.
You know, I was saying earlier, there weren't that many scenes. Like for a movie that wants to be pretty funny, I didn't laugh that much. The scene where she stabs that guy and the blood sprays up in her face, like for whatever reason, the blood spraying
Yeah.
up in her face made me crack up. Like
yeah,
that's
I did
Yeah.
laugh. I did actually laugh a
wanted-
lot.
this is the thing. Like I would have been happier for this movie to be way darker, and it's
Yeah.
not ultimately that dark. Like even all the like threats from Mick Foley and that guy who is the ridiculous
The
rat tail.
fucking rat
The
tail.
rat tail, yeah.
He's not scary. Like at no
No.
point are you like, he's really gonna hurt someone. No, it's like he should have been coming in there with a fucking machete or something.
Yeah.
Then I would have been
No,
like,
yeah.
oh, this guy's really.
It's
off
not
his
dark.
rocker.
I mean, it is dark. It could have
It's not
gone.
dark
It
enough,
could have
though.
gone
It could be
darker.
darker.
What it is like very callous. Like all of these
Yeah.
characters are very callous to human life, which is kind of what the whole basis of all of it is.
Yeah, I got a pretty good chuckle out of blonde chick stabbing that dude in the parking lot, and then you find out 10 minutes later, oh, that's not a kidney.
She took
that's
the
a
wrong
bladder.
organ. Like, that was funny.
Yeah.
It's never a question of whether she was gonna cut out the right,
Right.
organ.
Yeah, that's
No.
true.
Yeah, exactly. And like the fact she's like manhandling it too.
Yeah.
Like I don't know science, but like you can't just like hold like an organ. in your
No,
bare
like
hands,
there's
right?
no
Like,
there's
that's
no
not-
fucking
That-
like
that one.
there's no sanitation. They're not blood typing. Like that's not how anything with organs works whatsoever. All
Should we
you
talk
needed,
about
all
the
you
ending
needed
real
was a
quick?
character like looking at a chart and being like, okay, blood type, boom, this guy. Like
Yeah.
all you
Well,
needed.
they were nurses. Like they knew the blood.
But even with,
types.
but I'm pretty
Yeah.
positive that with a kidney, it's a lot more complicated than that anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait, Casey,
But-
which part of the ending do you want to talk about? Because when the blonde woman just took off all her clothes and like
Yeah.
walks off into the sunset, I chuckled.
It was
a
pretty
little
funny.
Those were my
Yeah.
two biggest laughs of this whole movie with her, because there was the whole reference.
She had no
before, 'cause
underwear
when
on?
she showed up with the bladder. Why do you have that in a pair of panties? Well, that's all I had.
bit. Yeah.
And then you forget about it, and she takes off her jumpsuit, and,
then
she just walks off bottomless. That's hilarious.
And then that-
and the guy that you were talking about,
Yes.
John, who, because throughout the movie you're watching, my first thought was, okay, what the hell happened to the organs that were
Yeah.
there? And it's in the back of your head the whole time, and you think something's going to pop out of that, and it's just this guy who's been annoying the whole movie saying, these are just laying around, what are they for?
Right, like that was so funny. The way, and everyone's freaking out. He's like, "What? This is what I got."
I just found him on the loading dock.
Good times. For the record, Joe, I
So-
didn't actually call you a simpleton. It's about morality. For real though, I have
Yeah,
noticed that
but I mean,
you
like, I
prefer
love
clear
It's
cut
Always
morality.
Sunny, like,
Yeah.
like you know, it's I pick and choose.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna not gonna spend time trying to explain what goes on up in the old thinking box.
He listens to metal music. I don't know why he has to explain himself to you.
Yeah,
right now.
my comment on agreeing with Eric on that is not that Joe's a simpleton, but like his comment when talking about Nurse Jackie, she's a junkie nurse, and him and his wife
Right.
are like, "Nah, I can't watch this. She's just a terrible person." That explains why Hallmark's so appealing to you guys, because you
That's
don't have to
all I'm
worry about
saying.
terrible people.
Just
I
like
imagine-
smiles.
I imagine
Yeah,
it's-
exactly. You like wholesome and happy. There's nothing wrong
Yeah,
with it.
I don't like wholesome. It doesn't make sense to my brain. I don't get it.
I disagree with that, Eric. We have had many conversations about how you like movies that make you feel good. No.
I think different things make you feel good and me feel good, Joe.
Yeah.
It's okay, Joe. It's okay. We're all
can't-
different. So
Oh, I'm well aware it's okay. All right, buddy.
That's what makes the world go round, Joe. All right, guys. Would you recommend this, John?
I'm gonna say no.
Joe?
Yeah, I was gonna say yes, but now I'm just annoyed, so I'm gonna say no. So- no, I was gonna say no either way, but
Casey?
fuck you.
Yes, you should watch it.
Yeah, I say definitely yes. Yes, especially if you're a fan of Angela Bettis. I think it's a fun watch. All right, guys. Let's take a quick break and do some fan mail.
Brain scan.
It's interactive, dude. You're in the game.
Intense.
Hello, Michael.
Insane. Interactive.
Never leave home without it.
And totally out of control. Brain scan.
Game over. You lose.
Rated R. At theaters now.
Hi there, I'm Judith O'Day from George Romero's original Night of the Living Dead, and you're listening to Bloody Good Horror.
Send feedback to info@bloodygoodhorror.com or on Twitter using hashtag AskBGH. Join Patreon to get back episodes and much more. Patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror.
And we're back.
Judith O'Day, still alive.
Still kicking, man.
Yeah.
Repping Bloody Good
Speaking
Horror.
of amazing websites, I would suggest you go to o'daycommunications.com right now.
Is that her website?
Yeah, it is phenomenal.
Is it like super 90s style?
It's there's crossfades on images. There's a star wipe.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna suggest the listeners pause
Wait,
right
how
now.
do you spell O'Day?
ODEA.
Okay.
It defaults to o'daycommunications.com/2017. So I don't know when's the last time this has been updated, but it's a thing, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, copyright 2017. Like, how is that possible?
Mm-hmm.
Had they seen a website in the last 15 years when they made this? Oh, my Lord.
You guys are gonna have to count me out for the rest of the show.
You're just going to explore this rabbit hole for a little bit?
I'm here.
Joe, I just need you for a couple minutes here, and then you can go back.
Yeah.
It is October.
Yeah.
In about a couple weeks here, there's an election happening.
I've heard news.
We've
I've
been
heard
firing up the old Cameo lately, Joe. We're on Cameo. That means you can purchase a personalized message from Joe BGH for anyone in your life for any reason, positive or negative.
Mm-hmm.
And the proceeds all month long are going to the League of Women Voters, which
Correct.
is an organization, am I right, you just learned about this year?
Well, I mean, I've known about it. I think what kind of sparked my interest in them is they've actually did an event at my local library, and they're bipartisan. They pretty much get out there, help people register to vote, help train and teach you where you can go vote, help fight against voter suppression. All great things.
Joe, who's doing voter suppression? I haven't heard this. That doesn't sound like something that happens in a democracy, Joe. If I'm being honest.
With an asterisk based on what your political beliefs are. But yeah, so all month long, cameo.com/BG Horror. We're giving the proceeds. We're donating them to the League of Women Voters. They're an awesome organization in all seriousness. So, and we've gotten a ton of responses. Pretty much I'm doing like 2 of these a day at least.
That's awesome,
and the wife thinks I'm insane because she just hears like insane ranting from the spare room.
You know what grinds my gears?
I got one today where a bunch of people are. I've gotten a couple of these where people are doing like virtual movie watches with their friends, and they've asked us to like intro it. So I did a handful of those. Actually, oddly enough, we got one today to intro a bunch of guys up in Madison, Wisconsin, who are going to be watching Deathgasm. And today also just happened to be the 5-year anniversary of when we recorded our Deathgasm episode, which I thought was super creepy.
5 years? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Amazing.
God damn it. 5 years?
Yeah. 5 years on the nose. We were here talking
Felt
about
like 20 to me.
What is time? I legit, if you said, when did Deathgasm come out? I would have said like last year.
No, come on.
No, I'm fucking dead
5,
serious.
I would not have guessed 5.
I'm dead serious. So yeah, Cameo. Joe, do you want to tee up? I have another little sample I want to play for people here. Do you want to tee this up?
So this is one. So you know more about this than I do, Eric. But every Saturday night, some of our patrons are getting together, and Jody, one of our listeners, hosts and like apparently puts this whole thing together, and it's a ton of effort. And God bless him. So. We got a request to pretty much just record a little like thank you video that I did a couple days ago.
You didn't say what it is. You changed the subject mid-sentence.
What?
You didn't say the word trivia.
Did I not say it? I thought I said he puts together the trivia. Did I not say that?
You didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. All right. I did, right? Everybody else heard it, right?
We'll play back the tape later.
I don't know. Whatever.
So who purchased this?
Armando, I believe, sent in the request.
Who's
Mendo?
also
we call him Mendo.
Mando. Who also
so yeah, he sent it in, and just kind of as like a thank you recorded message to Jody, kind of thank him for all his work with the trivia.
Right. Because Mondo also is Mondo's also a trivia regular. It's been a ton of fun. It started kind of in quarantine, and it's become literally like it's a weekly, like we all look forward to it because it's been so much fun. So you want to say thank you to someone in your life, it might sound something like this.
Hey, Jody, how's it going? It's Joe from Bloody Good Horror. I wore glasses because glasses are for smart people, and smart people wear glasses. The reason I'm trying to look smart is because Armando and I assume the rest of your friends over at the Slacks and the clickety clicks or whatever you guys want to call it, they just want to send a thank you and say hey. Thanks for doing the trivias. I think every Saturday night you kids get together, you do your Molly and your ecstasies and your uppers and downers and God knows what else, and you just, hey, what was Freddy Krueger's mom's name? Everybody ring in or something. I don't know. Look, I don't know exactly what you're doing. I mean, I got stuff going on. All right, my Saturday nights are full with just things. All right, I don't need to explain myself to you, Jody. All right, this is supposed to be a thank you, and I feel like you're coming at me for like what I'm doing with my free time. Like,
you don't sound self-conscious at all, by the way.
I've got things to do. There's lawns that need to be mowed. There's gutters. I assume they need to be cleaned. When we bought the house, the gutters had those like covers so stuff doesn't get in there. I've noticed over the years a couple of them have fallen off. I haven't gotten up there to try and repair them, but that's not really what we're here for. I think everybody just wanted to say, hey, thanks for all the time and effort you put into the trivia. And I don't know if there's some sort of scoring system. I assume Eric wins every week because let's be honest, but everybody seems to enjoy it. Yeah. I'd love to join.
You gotta get a good Eric
could.
shot in there.
I'm not gonna. I'll be honest. Like the whole Saturday night thing. you're all nice people, but you're like coworkers, and the thought of seeing any of your faces on a Saturday night just it doesn't appeal to me. So that's me. That's just my thing.
I'm gonna pause this for a second. Joe, do you understand your gift? You are the only fucking person I know that can say shit like this, and you're fucking being serious. I don't think people understand that, and people still fucking like you. Could you imagine if I said shit like this? Just fucking think about it.
You know, whatever.
I just want you to appreciate that about yourself, Joe. It's a gift.
It's a shtick, right? Like it's, you know, I play the part. I'm never gonna join that trivia night. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I know you're not going to. That's what I'm saying. Like this shit is real, but people are like, oh, he's so funny, that Joe. He's such a cad.
I mean, I do. I got stuff to do on Saturday nights. Like, you know, like Saturday nights is the wife and I, we unwind. So I'm not gonna waste it with you guys.
Look,
you know, not that, you know, I'm sure you're having fun, but
Joe, I saluted.
Yeah.
Glad to know you guys are so invested in the community. Do you want to listen a little more?
That's who I am inside, and I'm just keeping it real with you, Jody. That's just. I assume that's what you expect from me.
I like that it's
and
mostly just
that's
Joe
why
explaining.
That's why I'm making
The whole thing.
stuff.
We're 2 minutes in.
Cameos. You know, if the other guys could keep it as real as me, maybe they'd be cameoing too. But they're not. So this is what you get. You get a few minutes of some jackass in Illinois insulting you almost.
With glasses,
so
basically.
you're welcome for that.
yeah, I had
But in
trouble
all
with my
seriousness,
contacts that day.
everybody appreciates what you're doing. We at Bloody Good Horror, myself and the rest of the crew, very much appreciate what you're doing and sort of building the community and keeping people together. As you know, John and I, we're not like the most personable people. Cece, God knows what
Don't
she's
drag
doing
me
with
into
her
this. Is
witch
all
stuff.
I can say.
Casey, the guy, I don't know. He's barely awake 95% of the time. Eric, he's in there. He's in with you guys. He's doing things. I assume at a certain point it's gonna get to a point where Eric has to choose between the rest of the podcast team and the slackies or slackers or whatever you want to call you. He's gonna choose you guys. I mean, let's.
I mean, they are nicer to me.
Put it out on the table.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. No,
obviously,
absolutely.
you know, and I wouldn't blame him because honestly, I'd dump the guy like an old pair of shoes if I could too. But
Oh my god.
you know, we're stuck together. You know, we're making the big
All
bucks.
right.
We got to do
I
what we
think
got
I've
to
got
do
the
just
flavor.
to
There's
get
like
by.
5 more minutes.
So you
Probably
too
don't
could
need
have Joe insult you and all your friends for the low price of whatever it is, $5 or some shit.
it. Man, like,
that was like very real Joe. That was unfiltered.
No, that was
Joe.
some
I
fucking
think-
real ass Joe. I assure you. Also, I
yeah.
I
Go
should say I've only won once. Actually,
ahead. Oh, really? I've always got the impression like you win every week.
no, I've only won once, and Elizabeth won the last 2 weeks. She's the first person to ever win twice in a row.
2 in a row.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know.
Killing it.
And to be fair, like I don't usually insult people in them. Like it's, you know, it's I don't know if you're familiar with the Tupac lyric, when I write, I close my eyes and let the Lord do his thing. That's how I approach my cameos.
Oh, yeah,
like I
that's
just
pretty
let
clear.
it happen. Like
Yeah.
there's a nugget of info that we get in the request and just stuff goes sideways. That's what I was talking about before. Like my ranting is just gone.
What I really
like,
love about
through
it
the
is
roof.
like a few people on Slack now have received cameos purchased by other Slackers, and they get so excited, and I'm just like, he's insulting you. You hear this, right?
Yeah.
Like you get. I am thrilled that people are excited about it. I hear a specific thing, and I'm like, listen, man, if they're happy, they're happy. It's just funny.
Did John freeze? I think we lost John.
No, I'm here. What do you mean?
Oh, your video's frozen for me at least.
What if I do this?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, thank God you're back. I was so worried.
I'm
Okay.
sweating bullets, guys. I gotta take my sweatshirt off. Sorry.
You're in that space suit.
Oh, I mean, look at you. Fucking. Are you sure you were not the head of like the college Republicans or some shit, John?
Seriously,
Jesus Christ.
are you're working from home and still wearing like button downs, huh?
Well, it's a short sleeve button down, Joe.
Yeah.
It's
Do you,
know, you're
or
having a
do,
good
do
time.
you or do you not have Grover Cleveland? Jesus Christ, who am I thinking of?
Wait, what
Who's
year
that
is
guy? God damn it! Ruined my own joke. Whatever. Fucking.
Let's move on.
Who am I thinking of? God damn it.
Grover Cleveland. I have no idea.
Norquist. Grover Norquist. Whatever.
Who the fuck is that?
He was one of the original college Republican guys. Anyway, it's not fucking important. info@bloodygoodhorror.com. Before we do emails, really quick, Joe, 5K.
Yeah. So if this is released on Friday, like they normally are, The Bloody Good Horror virtual 5K and 10K is officially upon us. Maybe you're out running right now. So anyway, Friday, October 16th, which would be today for all intensive purposes, all the way through Sunday the 18th. Go out, run your 5K, run your 10K, send in your results or a screenshot of whatever app you're using to track to bloodygoodhorror@gmail.com. Post up your pictures, your tweets, or whatever you're doing. Use the hashtag RunBGH. It's really, you're getting out there, you're enjoying yourself. We're doing a little community event. We'll send out some prizes as we always do for those overseas. We'll give you a back episode, or we'll figure something out. But everybody gets something. But we don't post results. We don't. So go out, walk, run, do however the hell you want it. Just take a leisurely stroll. It's really just about there having fun and kind of getting everybody involved. So should be a good time.
Yeah, awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I have to admit, because of my schedule, this might be the first time I'm not able to participate, but I will be there in spirit. I also I haven't been walking that much.
Things happen,
Yeah. Fuck, tell me, dude.
I think it's going to be hard for a lot of people this year because, you've either just completely shut down because of quarantine, which I totally get. So, maybe this year doesn't have a big turnout. We'll give it another go next year.
Well, the one we did in, was it April?
Yeah.
I was still doing a lot of anxiety walking, so I killed that one.
Yeah.
But eventually I just stopped caring about anything, and then I felt better.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. There's not a lot of caring going on right now. So.
I'm fine. Whatever, man. I'm still alive. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I don't fault anyone. So.
But yeah, these are always really, really cool events, and we love to see the participation. It's really exciting. All right. Real quick, the book club being run by Alyssa with an assist from Cece. They're still reading A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay, which people continue to say is a real name, and I continue to not believe. Sophie sends me a note about Tweet with BGH. Next Tweet with BGH going to be Sunday, October 25th, to correspond with our special Halloween event, John, at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you want to know what our Halloween event is, you should become a patron, and then you'll find out. We will be watching either Halloween 3 or Halloween 5. There is a poll over on Twitter at BGH New Class Live. In my opinion, you can't go wrong with either one. They both have their merits. Email from Andy and the website 11th, blah, 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 bloodygoodhorror.com. We have a ton of reviews from this year's Night Stream and Salem Horror Fest. So far, Bloody Hell, Lapsus, The Last Thanksgiving, and Detention are topping the ranks. And our boy Justin wrote in to let us know that Tales from the Hood 3 is being released or has been released. People who have seen it and said it was better than Tales from the Hood 2.
It's
that's not a high bar.
It
That's
is
a
not,
low bar.
but still,
I want to say Tony Todd is in this one. I hope I'm not making that up.
Was he not in the last? I can't remember.
Oh, John. No, he was not, John.
I mean, look, I love Tony Todd. I just, I can't remember who was in the last.
Nah, just keep thinking, John. All right, Joe, that's it. What do we got on Twitter?
We are on Twitter at BG Horror. Every week we use the hashtag. If you want to send in a question about the movie or just life in general, we'll fix all your problems. First up from at JHAR0, that's our buddy Jake. Have you guys ever heard the song? Oh, this is in response to our discussion about Meatloaf last week. Have you guys ever heard the song? He says it plain as day. I would do anything for love, but I won't do scat. No, I won't do scat.
Oh, so it's poop stuff.
Oh, well, I thought it was
like
like
a
that,
Weird Al thing?
like a bebop and like bida 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 bee. But you guys remember Scatman John?
Bida bida bop.
Yes.
Yeah. He was a thing.
I know.
Like,
I remember a lot of Scatmans.
Bada 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 bee, bada bada bo. Scatman John. I went to Germany in my, I want to say, sophomore year of high school, and Scatman John all over the fucking place. People loved him.
Huh. I thought that was going in a different direction. I'm kind of glad it didn't.
Next up from at BS Watson 807. It's a buddy Brandon. Does the Schnars character have a response to Duke Library releasing the hottest hit of 2020? And it's some, like, I started watching this. I don't know if you guys have seen this video, but it's Library Takeout. And it's some, like, weird techno song about, like, how to rent stuff from the library.
Oh, I wish you'd send me this. This is pretty exciting.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
No.
I would love to learn though.
I watched the video and I'm still not 100% positive.
Can you just ping that in the chat or something, just so
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll follow up and let you know next episode.
Yeah, get to it. Next up from our good friend Skizbot. What did Adam Sandler do to hurt you, Eric? So much hubby Halloween hate. Which is the new Adam Sandler.
Isn't it Hubie Halloween?
Hubie?
Yeah, all right.
Did you watch it yet, Joe?
I have not.
Wow.
We're definitely going to. Are you opposed to it, Eric? I'm
no,
surprised.
I just don't want to do it for Halloween. I'll do it though in November. That's fine.
Yeah.
I watched it this past weekend and I had fun. I thought it was charming.
I actually have a deep respect for Adam Sandler, like dramatic roles. Like I just rewatched Funny People, which is kind of flawed as a movie, but he's fucking so good in it.
Oh man, Punch Drunk Love is.
It bothers me that
like,
he makes
one
the
of my
shit
favorites.
he does when he's so talented. Like it bothers me.
I don't know. Like I just feel like he's having a good time. Like
that's fine. Listen, that's fine. I don't have to watch it, I guess is my point.
No, you don't have to, but
he's
you
like
don't want to have fun. Like we get it. We understand.
He's like the Jimmy Buffett of like dad jokes. Like he's just he's
you're
out
really
there doing
selling
it,
me
you
now,
can
Joe.
tell he's happy. Like what's it?
You said you're really selling me now. The Jimmy Buffett of dad jokes.
I will not listen to the great Buffett's name be
Okay.
besmirched here. All right, next up from Jack. That's WSBB Productions. Any of you have TMJ? It's all I can think about right now. The pain. I don't know what's TMJ.
TMJ is a thing. I don't know what it stands for, but it has to do with like it's like tensing your jaw until you hurt it.
Huh.
Ooh.
It's like
but I do grind my teeth.
It's
at night,
it's
according to
kind of
my
like a
wife.
tick. It goes along with anxiety disorder sometimes. I do.
Yeah.
I've had bouts of it in the past. Yeah, it's not. It's pretty painful. It's not fun.
Interesting. No.
I think some people. I think some people get in their sleep too, and then just wake up with like pain.
Huh.
I grind my teeth like crazy. My wife wants me to sleep in a football mouthpiece.
Yeah, dude. Listen, if you don't take care of that, you will mess your teeth up real
Yeah,
bad.
no, my wife sleeps in a mouth guard.
Yeah, I used to grind my teeth. I haven't for years, but every time I go to the dentist, they're still like, "You grind your teeth, right?" And I'm like, "Fuck you, doctor."
I sleep like an
next up
angel
from-
every night.
I
so-
actually don't grind my teeth, which is
Understand this.
fucking amazing given everything else about my personality.
It's weird. I don't now. I did as a kid. Like I don't know what I was so stressed about as a kid.
You want to get into it, Joe?
You know. Oof, I do not. Actually. Like, open that can of worms.
I like how you say that so cavalierly. I don't know what I was stressed about as a kid. I've heard your childhood stories, Joe.
Yeah, it's true. I actually think I do know exactly what I was stressed about. Literally, like once a month, my parents would sit us down and say they're getting a divorce, and then not do it.
What? Oh my God, Joe! What?
Follow through.
Holy
Like,
fuck!
next morning, like everybody just be fine in the kitchen, and I just sit there like, "What the fuck?"
Holy shit, dude! That is fucked.
Yeah, it was weird.
Oh my
Next up
God.
from Priscilla Toro. What
I
is the
might grind.
best
I
gas
might
station
grind my
food?
teeth tonight just thinking about that.
Fucked.
What a mind fuck.
It wasn't great. What is the best gas station food?
Taquitos.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't
Or
know.
though
Like,
Anything wrapped and made by a different company.
yeah, I would say like Slim Jims. I'm definitely pro Slim
I'm
Jims.
kind of like I can't eat them now because of the way I eat, but I used to be kind of into like gas station sandwiches. As long as there's some mayo I can put on there.
Mm. Yeah, I
like
mean,
a
I guess
hot dog on those rollers, the roller
Yeah.
hot dog.
The
Slam
taquitos
dunk.
are those little rolled tacos that they put on the same rollers as the hot dogs.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
I mean, I guess it depends on like what we're talking about. If we're talking like generic gas station, like you're not doing food.
No,
But if you're
then the
like a
answer's
Wawa or
combos.
like a
Obviously
7-Eleven or something,
How do we
combos are great,
feel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I read that question more as like food they're preparing, but
Yeah.
I mean, I eat hippie shit that no one wants to buy. This is what I will say is that on the diet that I'm on, you know what saves me, John? I could travel anywhere in America. I could be in the fucking backwoods asshole of America somewhere and walk into a gas station and there's going to be a banana.
Oh.
The humble banana. And I know it's not contaminated because it has its own natural wrapper, John. And it's
Yeah,
just
but
one
Oh, look,
ingredient.
I eat a lot of bananas.
Covered
Like,
in feces. Like,
No, but it has a wrapper.
His mouth.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but you're holding that banana peel and you're touching it, and then that whatever those feces are, they're then on your hands.
I'm not
Florida-
touching the banana with my hand, Joe. It has a.
It's
I'm not touching the banana with my hand.
Yeah, but are you washing your hands immediately after you finish the banana? That's my question.
I mean, it's 2020. I'm probably using some hand sanitizer if I went in a place.
Well, that's
Right.
But in general, like
But what I-
pre-COVID.
I'm just saying the banana saves me, John, because everywhere. They're fucking everywhere. Think about it next time you're out.
Oh,
I always found Florida and Georgia to have the most eye-opening gas station food, at least
Oh,
to me, from Indiana.
Disgusting.
Crock pot full of boiled peanuts. Alrighty then.
The worst cup of coffee I ever had came at a roadside stop just over the Florida border going into. I was in Georgia, and it was like a place that sold fireworks and oranges,
Oh.
and also like a lot of weird gator merchandise, like just gator stuff. Like not the college, I mean just gators.
Just
And
the
like
alligators, yeah.
I needed coffee. I had been driving for like, if you live in South Florida, by the time you get out of that state, you've been driving for like 6 or 7 fucking hours. And so I need coffee. I go to the back. There's like an old ass, not even like an industrial coffee machine, just like a fucking, just disgusting 30-year-old home coffee machine that must have been sitting out there for hours. It was like after lunch. And when I drank coffee, I could drink almost anything. This was fucking, I couldn't even drink it, John. It was vile.
It doesn't sound great.
No, it was very
Yeah, it doesn't.
Especially with your duty banana.
Right, you eat that banana and have that coffee, you better hope you're near a bathroom somewhere.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, last tweet, and then we'll take a look at Instagram from Robale. So, sexy lady gremlin is Joe's thing. What horror thing shouldn't do it for you, but does? The dance scene in Jacob's Ladder for me.
Oh man, with the tentacle coming up under her legs. Yeah, wow, dude.
I
Okay.
get that.
I don't know that I mean, just obvious stuff like that graveyard scene, Return of the Living Dead. Pretty into that, but I think that's supposed
yeah.
that's supposed to be
but
sexy.
you're
He's
supposed to
asking,
be
yeah,
hot.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I gotcha.
I actually would say Sexy Lady Gremlin is supposed to do it for you on some level. Like,
Mhm.
it's supposed to be
And it
like.
I mean,
does,
it's got Hooters, John. So like,
For
I
me,
mean,
it's the
for me
cams.
intellectually,
That's sexy lady gremlin's legs. Those are hot chihuahua.
for me intellectually, I feel like even though I'm watching a movie, like any kind of like made up zombie or whatever, like if there's, I don't know, I'm able to separate the character from the actress. So like if there's an attractive actress who's naked, even if they're made up disgustingly, I'm still like, you know, like I can get there. I guess is what I'm saying.
I'm with you
Yeah.
on that actually. Have you guys seen the movie Crash by David Cronenberg?
No,
I'm familiar
dear
with that.
God.
Kidding. It's not. It's a real answer.
That's some real to say that while wearing that outfit is some real Patrick Bateman shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that.
You know.
I don't know how weird it
Yeah,
is, but
Jared.
I've always had a strong love for the Bride of Frankenstein. So,
I get that. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's that weird. She's a pretty lady.
Hmm.
Yeah,
all right,
that
let's
hair.
jump
Are you
over
kidding
to-
me?
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
into it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Higher the hair, closer to God. I love like a 80s, 90s like Jersey Turnpike hairstyle. Ooh. Ooh. Like a big old fucking just tease it up.
Joe, I just watched Joe's face get flush in real time.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's weird. I feel like I've heard a comedian or some like maybe a podcast talk about this. Like, you're forever attracted to like what was attractive when you were like becoming a teenager. So like to me, like
Yeah,
those,
I get that.
You know, the women that were in like all like the hair metal videos, like I'm still just like that is hot. Like
Yeah, like
And
a
that's why Joe gets a boner every time he
Joe,
smells
like
Aquanet.
a good like half shirt.
yeah, exactly. Like
Mhm.
Tawny Katane, still
Yes.
Maybe
fire.
some fingerless gloves.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Only if they're
After I was
lace.
with you, fingerless gloves. I'm kind of like,
I mean, it's a look.
Yeah.
take or leave.
I was really into Casey Jones and Ninja Turtles, John. Okay,
Wait,
Wait, what's this?
sexually or
I don't know.
What?
Depends on the day.
No judgment,
you
Eric.
mean
but-
April, right?
You mean
Actually,
April
whatever,
O'Neil?
whatever you mean. I'm fine
Maybe
with it.
both of them together. I don't know.
No, that's. You know what? I would have been there for that actually.
Yeah.
Now that you say that.
Yeah. No judgment. Good for you, buddy. All right. So let's jump over Instagram. We are on there we're Bloody Good Horror, the full name. Every Tuesday, I post up just send in your questions. I'll make stupid comments. We got one here. This is relevant to the cameo conversation. Why do you hate us? Come to trivia on Saturday nights with us, Joe. We all get branded with BGH next to our genitals after we give our collateral in order to play. It's totes fun. Just do it.
Yeah, Joe, does that sound like fun?
Doesn't at all.
We've been taking
Honestly,
a lot of We've been taking a lot of cues from The Vow on Netflix. We're just really trying to use the Nexium cult to kind of up our camaraderie game, you know.
I'll be like, I would join if I had like spare time, but like literally, like Saturday night is like Leslie and I watch a movie and like get high and drunk. Like that's what we enjoy doing, and I'm not gonna miss that. Oh, here's another one actually. Why does Eric favor John over you? I never understood. I think it's just like personal preference, right? Of like what you like in a man.
I'll be honest, I think I'm more giving.
If you want flowing locks,
Like-
yeah, you know where you're gonna come.
I would shower John with love. I think Joe's a little withholding, if I'm being honest.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
Like Joe would neg you. Like that's love to Joe.
Yeah. Leslie and I have actually talked about this, and like apparently there's like profiles of like what kind of like how affectionate you are, and like
Oh yeah,
I'm
no,
apparently like a gift giver, and that's how I show like my like I'll go to the store and like I'll be at Trader Joe's and I'll be like, oh, here's some flowers, and I'll bring those home. Like that's mine, but like I'm not gonna hug you and like you know.
See, I'm more
I'm
like
not gonna tell you that I love you. It's more like every once in a while
I'll buy you
Yeah,
things. I
well,
love you
it's
this
like
many
you're
dollars.
Yeah, it's like here's a small thing just so you know that I was thinking of you. Like it's
See,
you know.
I'm more of like a caretaker, John. Like I'm gonna make you soup when you're sick, and I'm gonna take a little face cloth and I'm gonna run it under hot water so you can put it on your little forehead. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're
So
just asking
thoughtful.
to get sick.
So thoughtful with the claw.
I think the answer is clear. Why he prefers me.
Yeah.
All right, so we're running long, so we'll just do a couple more. What's the worst seasonal pumpkin thing you've tasted?
I mean, listen, I've had some bad pumpkin beers. There's
Yeah.
some pumpkin beers that go too hard on that. I don't know if we ever got closure on whether or not pumpkin beer is popular or not anymore, but
I think it's declining.
So what's going on, Joe? Like I keep seeing people having trouble finding it. Is there some kind of shortage going on because of COVID, or like with the materials
Not that I
or something?
know of, but I think we kind of talked about it a little bit last episode. Like my assumption is because breweries in general are hurting right now, a lot of them aren't doing like special releases or anything, so they're kind of just sticking with what they have and not wasting like tank space on like
Or they're not
seasonals.
distributing.
Yeah,
They're
well,
just
that
making
could
them
be
for
other-
locals.
Like I think I talked about Renegade, who partnered up with us back for the our first get together. Like they stopped canning and distributing altogether, and right now they're just focusing on like their tap room. So I think in general beer sales are down, and then COVID hit, and a lot of breweries are hurting to you know even more. So you know things aren't great.
I'd throw out there the Voodoo Ranger Atomic Pumpkin beer to throw out there. Not that it was a bad pumpkin beer, but as far as what I've had recently, that's the worst one because I didn't read the box and know that it was brewed with habaneros.
Oh,
which at my age is not a pleasant thing the next
that
morning.
actually sounds kind of nice.
My butt hurts just thinking about that.
All right, let's just do a couple more. We got a lot, but I also need
It's
to
only
tuck myself
9:40,
in.
Joe. We got a few minutes here.
Where the hell? Oh, I had a good one. That was the pumpkin beer one. I'm really looking forward to Spiral from the Legacy of Saw. Is it all in vain? I mean, is that still coming out? I assume it got pushed, right?
I saw there's some new movie on Shudder called Spiral, right? But I guess it must be something different.
There is a movie on Shudder called Spiral. It is not the Spiral that is related to Saw. That has what's his name in it? Chris Rock in it. Yeah. Don't be confused. My understanding is they are different films. Although there's been some decent chatter about it. The Shudder Spiral as well.
Are you guys watching Fargo? This season of Fargo, Chris Rock is in it. It is awesome.
I gotta watch that show.
I am watching and also enjoying.
I don't know how related it is, but I love that movie so much. I just watched it again the other day.
Yeah, the show's amazing. Sort of playing off that. What movie that got pushed back are you most excited for?
Antlers.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that.
That one looked pretty creepy. I want to see what that is.
The Candyman movie.
That looks good.
Yeah,
that's not horror, but like that Jungle Cruise movie, I am very excited for. And cannot
I'm
wait for it
not.
to finally come out.
I'm not like that excited for Candyman, if I'm being honest. Like I liked the trailer, but it didn't blow me away. I'm kind of just like cautiously optimistic. I feel like.
I'm pretty pretty into it.
Yeah.
All right, here's one, and I feel like this is mostly for you, Eric. Kirby is or is the best character in the Scream universe, and Part 5 will be shit without her. I don't know who's Kirby.
She is pretty good. So that's Hayden Panettiere in Scream 4. She's kind of the like drunk, sassy girl. And she's a pretty. Her relationship with Rory Culkin is pretty integral to the plot of that movie. Scream 4 is dope, dude. It's really good.
All right. Have you watched Haunting of Bly Manor? Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm a couple episodes in. I would say not as strong as Hill House was out of the gate, but really good. I love just watching him. I love seeing these actors in different ways. And
yeah, we binged it. So we ended up binging the entire season Sunday for our wedding anniversary. Happy weddings there on Sunday, and that was our exact feeling after that. This, for my in view of this, after seeing the whole season, it's a good show, and it's a good season. It's not as good as the first season.
Yeah, so
it's not as scary. It's not as deep and like gut punchy.
I fell asleep halfway through the third episode last night, and it was like the scare at the end of the first episode of Hill House like made me poop my pants, and I feel like I haven't felt that way yet. But you know, he also set the bar super fucking high for himself.
Right, and Hill House, the story of Hill House had a hell of a lot more emotional gut punches throughout the entire thing, and it's not quite as big of a hang up in this one.
It's brutal.
It wasn't that.
Hill House is brutal,
yeah.
All right. Can we get Pirates and Pirates 2 as a staff pick? I mean, I'm game. I think there's ghosts in them if you guys are in.
We have Patreon for exactly this reason, Joe.
There you go. Someone should make that a cameo request. It's
Listen, if someone out there can get us a link, Joe and I will review it, and maybe we'll make everyone else watch it too.
You
I don't know.
guys remember this is the porn, right? Like, you guys...
Yeah.
I'm
why
not
don't we
committing to watching.
Why don't we watch the version? Didn't you say they cut a version that's not?
There was a Skinamax version, but I mean, yeah, it's still like 90% porn.
Fucking.
I'm just glad you guys aren't saying let's save it until we're all at Horror Hound Weekend the next time we'll watch it in the hotel room.
Whatever. I'm comfortable. Do you read short stories?
Yes.
Yeah.
I read a couple of Clive Barker things that people really recommended, but generally no.
All right, let's do one more. If you ran for president, which BGH crew member would you choose as your running mate?
Oh, Lord.
I mean,
CC, obviously.
well, in 2020,
CC as well.
CC's the way to go. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's also got like witchy shit. Like I feel like she could, you know.
If this
do
was
some
like
sort of magic.
1990, if this was
gender balance on the ticket.
if this was
Yeah.
like 96,
White
but I'm
man.
just thinking from a purely like strategic standpoint. If this was 96, you pick John because he's the safest white guy here. Nothing shady in his past. He looks like a reliable white man, and he stands behind you. He's got a Mike Pence quality about him.
Yeah. And no, I mean, like in all
Thanks,
seriousness, like 10 years of emailing with you guys about like what show we're doing next and what we're doing. Like John seems to be the only one that can like hold a stream of thought. Like, so,
To be fair, John, let's be gracious, John. You're more like a Tim Kaine.
That also fine.
You're never gonna
I'll take
have
it.
a real strong opinion on anything, but have
As long as it's not Sarah Palin. I've had strong opinions in my life, but yeah, it's
John's
See,
like, I
go
don't
with
know.
Schnars,
I could
too.
go either
he knows
way.
businessy shit. I don't know that shit.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want that economics person,
You got to fill your gap.
right? Like John McCain. John McCain could have used you, John.
yeah.
Like-
I think so.
Yeah.
all right. I think that'll do it.
Okay, love it. That's 12-hour shift. We're just a couple weeks away from Halloween. We got the 5K next week. We got this cameo.
Yeah, we got the 5K today. It's on. It's happening.
What?
When you
comes
hear
out.
this,
Oh,
When you
Jesus
hear
Christ.
this.
Yeah, okay. Time and space. Yeah, 5K happening right now, motherfuckers. We got cameo happening. Proceeds going to the League of Women Voters. Joe will insult or whatever you want him to do anyone in your life.
Shower you with affection.
Yes, that's his strength. Cameo.com/bloodygoodhorror. Yeah, we got some special Halloween stuff coming up for patrons, which if you want to find out about, we're going to do an event. You got to join Patreon. So there you go. Patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror. That's going to do it for our review of 12-hour shift. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're enjoying a spooky season, and we'll talk to you soon.
cheers.
Okay, bye now.
Bye bye.